Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
And I'm your other host Dan, and we are your weekly video game news podcast here on Chipit Radio at chipit.net. We broadcast every Friday night from 7 to 8 p.m. live. Where else can people find us, Lex?
All sorts of social media, Dan, such as Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Steam, and iTunes.
That might have been the most professional intro we've ever done.
It's because I didn't even think about it, I just said it.
Yeah, we just, it became mechanical right there for a second. It's only 80 podcasts deep, and we finally did a perfect intro.
Finally.
It's about damn time. So we got a lot of stories to talk about. A lot of small stories this week, actually.
Lots of little announcements.
Yeah, lots of little announcements pre-E3. We have some E3 speculation on top of that as well. I get to come clean as a dirty, stinking hypocrite this week as well.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And eat my hat, my words, and my shorts. All at once. But we'll get to that. I've already come up with the perfect time to bring it up. So, let's talk about the thing that's on everybody's minds. The Warcraft movie.
Of course. I mean, if you're listening in China, perhaps this is the thing on your mind, because
perhaps you're wondering, what are these people saying?
Hey.
I heard Warcraft.
Maybe you're highly educated and Chinese and know a couple languages.
Hey, you can be highly educated and not be multilingual.
That's true.
That's discriminating against non-multilingual, highly educated people.
All those PhDs in math.
Yeah, who only know English. But numbers are their own language, Lex.
That's true. That's true.
So anyway...
profound.
Let's talk about the numbers of the Warcraft movie.
So as we discovered in a Gizmodo article from yesterday, which was the 10th?
Yesterday was the 9th.
Today
is June 10th, 2016.
Oh, yeah.
Because we forgot to say the date earlier, I think.
Almost a perfect intro.
Almost a perfect intro.
So yeah, it's an article from yesterday from Gizmodo.
Yes.
Entitled, Holy Crap, Does China Love the Warcraft Movie?
Not a question. A statement.
A strong statement. So, the Warcraft movie has, only yesterday was, I think, the sort of...
I mean, today's like the official release?
Yeah, the official release in America. But I guess they've already had it in China for, like, maybe a week, or maybe...
There's a lot of people who play World of Warcraft over there.
Oh, yeah?
I guess. So...
but they've already had it in China, and the numbers, the ticket sales numbers are in. And in the first day of their non-weekend launch in China. Oh, so it must have started earlier this week, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on like Wednesday or Thursday or something. In one day, it made $46 million at the box office. Now, as a comparison, Age of Ultron in China only made $28.3 million, and I think Star Wars The Force Awakens made like 32.
Oh my god.
So no, they love the Warcraft movie.
You heard it here first, folks. Warcraft is better than Star Wars.
At least to the Chinese it is.
To the Chinese it is.
They love it.
That's crazy. It's made $75 million internationally as well.
Oh yeah, apparently it's like topping the box office in like the UK as well.
Yeah.
We actually have UK listeners.
Yeah, so...
You guys love it too.
You guys seen the Warcraft movie? Stop! Stop doing this! You'll make them make more. They won't be able to make the Overwatch movie that they should have been making this entire time.
They'll probably still make an Overwatch movie later.
I hope so.
Make a Warcraft, maybe a StarCraft movie.
It'll be a delight. It's like Pixar, but more violent.
Well, that's what the animated shorts showed to us.
They're real good.
They are really good. That'd be great if it was just a movie of those.
Yeah. So yeah, apparently America's like the only part of the world that's like kind of whatever about this.
Well, that's the thing. Like it releases today, so we'll know after this weekend, like, how many people actually went to see it.
Right.
But we know that the critics the American critics, universally hate it.
Oh yeah, it's been pulling in loathsome reviews.
Yeah, I think...
from American critics.
I think the Rotten Tomatoes score...
It's poor.
...is like maybe 14% or something.
It's not good. Well, what I hear about it mostly is that it's a giant mess, and all it really feels like it does is set up sequels.
I'm sorry, much higher than I said. 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's better than I thought, but still not great.
Yep.
Still not great.
But, and it would have been so sad if all it had been doing is set up sequels and then none ever got to be made because it made no money.
But there's going to be one made.
But there's going to be one, because there's no way that the Chinese market alone doesn't drive the sequel.
Get ready for Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. Nothing has already had this name.
Nothing.
And then Warcraft 2.5, Beyond the Dark Portal. Get ready for it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
But yeah, okay, now it says 26 that I've actually gone to the site. But yeah, although what I will point out is the audience score is 82%.
Yes.
So
every WoW player has gone and seen the movie and given it a favorable rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
But no, I think
nobody
that
else cares enough to do so.
I think that it's one of those things where we're gonna, after this weekend, we will see if it's like a Transformers type deal, where it's a universally hated, terrible movie, but it still rakes in a ton of money.
Yes.
In the American box office. That's
what I imagine it's probably going to end up being. Because it's one of those things where it's like, you get it or you don't. And clearly critics are not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they look at it and say, wow, this is a poorly made, stupid movie about nothing.
Yep.
We hate this. Whereas people who like Warcraft are like, yeah, Warcraft movie! And don't care. Like, they finally got their Blizzard cutscene movie that we've all wanted since Warcraft 2 came out in the 90s.
Yep. I'm not gonna...
We have it.
I'm not gonna lie. I want to go see it.
I don't want to pay money to see it.
Yeah, I want to sneak into it. I think that's what I want to do.
Yeah, like pay for a better movie.
You know what I saw?
Give them your money.
You know what I saw recently? I saw The Nice Guys recently. Oh, that movie's good. Didn't make very much money.
Which one's that?
It's Ryan Gosling, the Goss.
Oh yeah, and Russell Crowe.
And Russell Crowe.
Yeah, I've heard that movie's great.
In the 70s detective movie. This has nothing to do with video games.
This isn't bonus content that people will get to listen to if they give to our...
Wait. We're announcing it at the end. Oh. Don't spoil it, Dan.
I just wanted to tease just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But no, so what I think I'm going to do is I want to go see that movie again. So what I'm going to plan out a day, and I'm going to go and see Nice Guys again, and then I'm going to sneak into Warcraft. I think that's my plan right now.
That's a pretty good one. I like that. Let's move on from the Warcraft movie before it poisons our entire podcast. But we'll stick to Blizzard for news for a little bit.
Okay, sure.
Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's MOBA game, is not doing great.
We don't usually hear much about it. We hear a lot about Hearthstone, we hear a lot about Overwatch.
Yes. Blizzard's, been trying to get this game noticed for the esports community alongside Dota and League of Legends, but apparently, as of June 9th, yesterday, according to this Polygon article, Heroes of the Storm's 2015 World Champion team has disbanded and given up on the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Cloud9, which has been reported by Yahoo Esports to have officially dropped its team for Blizzard's multiplayer online battle arena game. So a lot of people are surprised. The people who've been following this game in the esports community are very surprised. But they've struggled to compete since then. They failed to qualify for the Summer Global Championship, which take place at DreamHack Sweden. There's a $500,000 prize pool, yada yada. So it kind of sounds like they haven't necessarily broken up because the game is floundering. They're broken up because they suddenly suck at it. Like, they can't get it together and be good at it. So they said, it is with great difficulty we announce the dissolution of Cloud9 Heroes of the Storm division. As of today, Cloud9 will no longer field a competitive Heroes of the Storm roster. A lot of people in the esports world, though, in light of this, and before this, have been questioning whether the game has what it takes to, become a big long-term thing in the esports community. Which is understandable, because breaking past League of Legends and Dota is a tall order.
I am constantly surprised that there's enough room for both of those games in the world of esports, considering they're basically the same game.
Yeah. And apparently Cloud9 disbanded their Dota 2 team last year as well, following a big losing streak. Too. But the Summer Global Championship for Heroes of the Storm is next Monday, June 13th through June 20th. 12 teams are going to be competing for $500,000.
Ooh.
So, yeah. There you go. I mean, we'll see.
Blizzard can't have a winner every time.
You can't have a winner every time.
They'll just have to comfort themselves with their buckets of money they're making from their two other vastly succcel franchises.
Oh, they'll just have to roll in the piles of loot boxes being bought by the 7 million players of Overwatch. Ubisoft, in relation to Blizzard, has now started permanently banning players who cheat in Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh yeah,
So I wonder if this is because they've seen Blizzard doing this for Overwatch.
Yeah, because we reported on that last week that
Yes.
Blizzard was bringing down the ban hammer real hard.
They've banned a few thousand players at this point from Overwatch forever.
Yeah, no grace period, nothing like that. It's just like, oh, you were cheating? Okay, you can never play this game again.
Buy another copy of the game or anything like that, like they still reban you. Like they don't care.
All that IP tracking.
Something's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like Ubisoft has kind of taken up this queue and started doing the same thing.
Adopted a similar policy. Now, I understand, especially because Rainbow Six Siege is so tactical. If someone's cheating, then they'll really mess you over. But I didn't think their player base was strong enough to make this kind of gamble. Because that was the thing about Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
The player base is so huge that you can drop a couple thousand players and it's like nothing. You're losing no revenue.
It's the tiniest drop in the biggest bucket.
Yeah.
Like, imagine.
Whereas I know that Siege came out to mixed reviews.
Yes.
And I know that from some stuff that I read, the community, the multiplayer community was actually pretty good in terms of like you jump into a game and you're like, okay, we have to be tactical about this, and the other players are like thinking that same thing and trying to do that. But I didn't think that it took off with the sort of the mass market as much as a lot of other online multiplayer games have.
To be fair, I don't think either of us really have any idea what the player numbers look like for that game now.
We don't. I'm just going off speculation from articles I read around the launch of the game. Maybe it's grown since then. I'm not sure.
I just thought it was interesting that they've started doing this now as well. And I'm wondering if Overwatch continues to be successful, which it seems like it's going to be, if we'll see more companies who are putting out online multiplayer games start to adopt this policy.
Yeah.
It might be interesting to see, and I don't think it would be a bad thing at all.
No.
Because probably one of the reasons online cheating flourishes so much is because there are so many ways to get around it. But if you perma ban someone, you can't really get around it.
There have been so many stories we've been doing lately about cheaters and banning. Like, remember we did that Vigilante story?
Yeah.
That
guy's a hero.
He's a hero.
He's great.
The hero we deserve.
So, before we get off the topic of Blizzard and Overwatch, I gotta come clean.
Oh no.
I gotta come super clean right now.
What happened?
So I own Overwatch now. And anybody who has listened to this podcast will recall the months and months of me saying Overwatch looks stupid. I don't like that kind of game. I don't want to play Overwatch. Blizzard's dumb. This game is dumb. Anyone who plays it is dumb. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch. And I have to say, I was wrong. That game's really good. It's really fun to play. I've been enjoying myself.
Could you please get on the soundboard and play something?
I don't know what would be appropriate for this. I mean, like, this is me. And I'm gonna swallow all the crap that I was saying about Overwatch and say right now, it's a good video game. It's really fun. If you even kinda like shooters, you should try it. Even if you don't like shooters, you might try it, because I'm not a big fan of online multiplayer shooters, but I like that game. I've been playing as Mei. Like little cute Chinese Mr. Freeze. It's been a great time. Ice puns abound.
The characters in that game are all really
It has a super
fun.
strong roster. It has a super strong roster of characters. They're all fun to play as in their own way. You're gonna find someone you like if you try it.
Forgive me for being a filthy casual who has not played Overwatch, but is there any single player component or is it all multiplayer?
No, it's all multiplayer.
Okay.
I mean, unless you count running around shooting target robots to practice.
Sure, I'll count that.
That's single player.
Okay.
There's also no competitive play yet. Like, there's no ranked competitive play
Yeah,
yet.
I've been reading articles about how they're getting ready to bring that in.
Because it existed in the beta, apparently. But they're rebalancing it, retooling it, and bringing it back for, like, sometime either the middle of this month or the end of this month. They've said it's in June.
I think that's pretty smart.
I agree.
Because now they get a couple of months to just see how the meta is working and how everybody's playing the game.
They've already released information saying, like, we plan on nerfing this character, we plan on buffing this character, and the things they've said they're doing make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, based on what I've even seen playing, I'm like, they said, we're nerfing this character. I'm like, that seems fine. We're buffing this character. That seems fine. We're thinking about nerfing this character. That's fine. So there's another character they might do some stuff to. But right now, I think the game balance is pretty good. Every character's got a couple hard counters. Like, you just gotta learn your matchups and not be afraid to switch characters mid-game.
Mm. Also,
Works out for you sometimes.
I'll point out, you know who gave it the seal of approval, which is what clinched it for me?
Oh.
Conan O'Brien.
He did!
Yeah.
Yeah, he played it with Lena Headey and the Dink.
The Dink.
Our best friend, the Dink. They all looked at Widowmaker's butt.
Yep.
And they were like, yep, it's a good video game right there. Heartily agreed. So yeah, I'm out of the Overwatch closet now. I like the game. It's really good. Good job, Blizzard.
It was so
I
good.
take back the mean things I said.
It was so
about
good,
you.
even Dan could be swayed.
I just want everyone to know that I do know I'm a huge hypocrite.
Can I? So
no one needs to tell me.
Right now, I don't have the money to buy Overwatch. Yeah. I probably will at some point, but I was on Facebook the other day, and one of my friends posted this thing where he was like, "I can't believe this. I log into my phone, and there's like this notification from somebody who's doing a GoFundMe thing." And it's like someone I've never heard of, and it's just this guy that wants people to buy him Overwatch. And I have no idea why I got this notification, and I'm mad about it. And then later on, he posted the link to it, and I'm like, I'll check out that link, sure. And it's some dude from Alberta, Canada, who is just like, hey man, I
ain't got no money.
Yeah, can you just buy me Overwatch?
I just really want to play Overwatch,
yeah.
man.
He's like, I played the beta, it was so good.
Bro, Mercy's my waifu. I think
he
gotta play that game.
He did say something about playing Mercy.
Oh wait, really?
No, and he also made a joke about, he's like, all I have to tide me over is all the porn, and it's just not going to be enough forever.
But there's so much.
There's so much.
There's more on the way.
But I read it.
Found delightful fan art of Diva, the Korean girl with the mech suit,
mm-hmm.
because her backstory, she's like a pro gamer.
Oh, really?
She became a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So all the fan art of her is either like cute anime style fan art, or fan art where she's drawn as a little goblin creature just drinking Mountain Dew and eating Doritos with like Dorito dust all over her face. It's really good.
So, you know what? I feel like I want to link that guy's GoFundMe, because there's no one's donated it to.
I feel like I want to post pictures of Goblin Diva on our Facebook.
I think you should.
But yeah, it's I would never have actually bought the game. I actually need to give credit to my wife, because she was like, I want to buy Overwatch, and I was like, fine, I guess we can get Overwatch. She's like, I'll buy it. And I was like, I guess if I like it, I'll give you like $30 and like pay for half of it.
But then you paid for the whole thing.
I might as well at this point. I played it way more than she has. And she told me after that she's like, I didn't actually get this game because I really wanted to play it that badly. I was just like, he's totally going to like this game. He's just never going to admit it to himself unless I make him play it. And she was right.
So right.
She's super right.
Thank goodness.
So, let's talk about League of Legends. Instead of Overwatch, even though I really want to keep talking about Overwatch.
Really interesting article about League of Legends from gamesindustry.biz from today, Friday, June 10th, entitled, Riot Uses League of Legends chat logs to weed out toxic employees.
This is hilarious.
I found this super interesting.
It's very interesting. It's also really funny.
So, basically, Riot Games decided to see if there was a correlation between, like, their employees who sucked and didn't have good productivity and, like, the way they behaved online, specifically in their game, League of Legends, because I guess their whole staff is playing. Because
are you telling me that there's, like, problems with the League of Legends community that they need to address?
People in an online community are mean to each other? In a competitive game?
This is shocking.
This never happens.
Shocking to me. But what I think is so funny about this story is that they're using these League of Legends chat leaks because everybody at their company plays the game.
Yeah, I thought that was silly.
So, but the funny thing I think is, not only does everybody at this company play the game, but this means that some of the people who work at the company are also the jerkasses you get stuck with when you're playing the game.
Yes, that is.
I guess so. Because they've been doing this to weed out jerks, essentially.
I like the idea of, like Karen from accounting is like also playing League of Legends.
And she's just a monstrous ass when she's playing.
45-year-old mother of 3.
Her chat logs are just vile.
So anyway, what they did was they looked at the... they were like, okay, well, we know what our employees' gamer tags are.
Yes.
So we're going to look at their chat logs and see how they behave in game. And then they looked at all the people who said, like, the meanest stuff.
Yeah.
And then compared that to, like, worker productivity and, like, and complaints, like, coworkers had given them, and realized there was, like, a strong correlation. And they were like, oh, so I guess people that are jerks in
a video game might just be jerks in real life.
Whoa. So...
The world's getting too real right now.
So then what they did was they contacted all those employees, and some of them, the ones who were like the really grievous offenders, who said like terrible things online, they just let them go.
That makes sense, because I'm sure that those people were like just flinging around racial slurs and stuff like that.
It doesn't go into detail about what they did specifically in the article, but yeah, I'm assuming. Like but what they did was they just took them in to like meet with them and just said like, hey, you know, you said this stuff online, and like, you know, maybe don't do that because it's not cool.
Maybe you should say that to my face, not online, and see what happens.
Yeah. And what was interesting was, apparently... Oh, okay, here, this is a quote from the article. Pretty much everyone we spoke with was appalled at their own behavior. We actually received some essays from employees vowing to change their ways and become not just more considerate gamers, but better people.
It's like they were drug addicts or something. Except instead of doing drugs, they just called people hate words on the internet. I don't know the right term for that. Slurs, I guess.
Yeah.
The correct term.
Yeah, probably. Because we don't want to actually repeat any of them on the podcast.
No, I wasn't gonna. No, but I brain farted on the word slur there for a second.
And it was really interesting because a lot of the theory behind a lot of the reason why people are hateful online is because they can hide behind anonymity.
Yeah.
And it's never something that they would say to somebody in real life.
Oh. Except for the odd person.
Yeah. So Riot basically sat down with these people and said, like, hey, you know, if that's not something you can say in person, that's not something you should be saying.
Can't say anything nice, don't say anything
Yeah, like, maybe just be a decent human being in all aspects of your life. And the employees were like, you know what? You're right, I apologize. Here's this essay about how sorry I am. And I'm just like, you know, that's good. They all grew as people, and now there's less jerk people playing video games.
Maybe there's hope for humanity after all.
Yeah, all you have to do is sit down and have a calm talk with people and threaten to fire them.
If even League of Legends players can amend their horrible ways, maybe there's hope for the rest of us.
Can I also just point out that the first comment and the popular comment on this is from... how do you pronounce
Welcome to Gattaca.
Yeah. I don't know.
Renaud Charpentier,
who is the game director at
Creative Assembly. He's the guy who makes Shogun and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. His comment says, "What? This is so wrong on so many levels. From public contrition meetings and self-improvement essays from the worst
Stalinian trials.
Worst Stalinian trials, to scanning of your private life game logs
are not your private life.
No, they're public.
All public. Yeah.
To get a job, except they weren't doing that before they hired the people. They were doing that after they hired the people. Welcome to Gattaca. What the worst totalitarian regimes clumsily did with pens and paper seems all fine as soon as it is modern and digital. This is dreadful and frightening to the core individual liberties." Dude, I think you're overreacting. Just a smidge. Just a little bit.
I like the thing that someone posted that says, "The true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching," followed by assuming a made-up quote he wrote that just says, "I lost my job because I'm an asshole. This is so unfair. Former Riot employee." Whatever.
It's like, and again, the one thing, we've pointed this out before on this podcast because issues of free speech have come up before. The whole point of that legal structure is so the government cannot mess with you.
Yes.
A private company can do whatever the flip they want.
Yeah. And if people have a problem with that, they don't have to try and get a job there or keep their job there. Like, that's all there is to it. Companies do horrible things to their employees all the time.
Dude, I've worked in the fast food industry.
Yeah. Me too. And retail. GameStop. They're really great.
Oh, GameStop.
They're super nice to their employees. Everybody likes them. Let's get to the big story for this week. This is probably our biggest thing to talk about is E3's next week.
Yeah.
So next Friday we're going to have a whole lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I hope Microsoft shows us a new car.
Me too. I hope Pele shows up again. I actually read something the other day about how Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb are coming back to host, I think, the Bethesda press conference. They're hosting one of the big ones.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that because they're probably going to announce Wolfenstein The New Order 2.
Ooh.
Which I just finished playing last night, the first game.
Oh, nice.
That game's great.
Yeah.
It's a really good shooter.
Sweet.
Killed so many Nazis.
So many Nazis. So anyway, there's a lot of articles out about what kind of announcements to expect and what we're thinking different companies are going to talk about.
Yes.
We're specifically citing one from Ars Technica.
Yep. It seems pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
Like, pretty well thought out and laid out. And this is from today.
Yeah, so do you want to just go through the different companies here?
Absolutely.
All right, so they start off with EA, whose press conference is going to be Sunday, the 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. in the UK, which is relevant to some of our listeners.
Now, what's important here is that they aren't actually part of the E3 show this year. EA split off and is doing their own thing, kind of like Nintendo did, which is why it's happening on Sunday. They're doing the EA Play show aside the show. So they're doing a press conference like standard to an E3 style presentation, we're assuming.
Yeah.
Probably going to talk about sports games. Obviously going to talk about Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2.
Oh, God. I mean, Battlefield 1, I'm still
cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, it could be cool.
Yeah. I want to see their take on trench warfare.
Yeah.
Because if they do a good job on that,
that could sell the game. Definitely. Titanfall 2, though, like, you were talking earlier about something nobody asked for. Titanfall 2 is definitely a game that nobody asked for.
I mean, Titanfall did well. A lot of people really like it, but I haven't heard anyone talk about it in, like, a long time.
People played it for 6 months, and then they were bored of it, and no one played it again. Yes. Yeah. That was that game.
And then more interesting games came out. But, I mean, I guess we'll see. A brief tease of Mass Effect Andromeda happened last year.
It's like every year they give us a tease of that game.
I don't know what it's about. I don't know how it ties into the rest of Mass Effect.
There are jetpacks in it.
Is it a shooter? Is it an RPG still?
I don't know.
Is it like a David Cage style cinematic experience?
Oh my god, I hope so.
Me too. I hope there's lots of shower scenes.
I hope Willem Dafoe is in it. Actually, I do seriously hope
Willem Dafoe is in it.
Oh, yes.
Beyond Two Souls was so good.
Well, actually, we know that that Kevin Spacey was in that, what was it, Battlefield?
I have a story about that I might as well mention right now. Jon Snow is the villain in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Yes.
Kit Harington's going to play the bad guy in that game.
Oh, yeah, there was footage of him being wheeled into this big thing with all these lights.
Yeah, look at him.
Mocap stuff.
Look at him. Azora High. There he goes.
So he, but no, so I would love it if, for Mass Effect Andromeda, they had, like, some famous people in it. But more than that, I would just love for them to give us some freaking gameplay of Mass Effect Andromeda, or tell us what it's about, or anything.
Yes. Is it an open... That looks like Metal Gear Solid 5. You just run around Afghanistan? With a spacesuit?
Metal Gear Solid 5 with a spacesuit. Or, more precisely, the ninja.
Go. Let the shepherd come back to life.
Is the ninja in Metal Gear Solid 5 at all?
Raiden?
Well, I mean, it isn't Raiden in, like...
Great. Is there a cyborg ninja?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
There's, like, weird soldier dudes who have, like, parasites in them that make them run fast and do weird stuff, and they're kind of ninja-y.
Oh, well, Metal Gear Solid 5 is set in the past, right? So it's a little weirder to have cyborg characters. Yeah. Although, Metal Gear Solid franchise... 2005...
You're all clear.
Yeah.
That's what the first game said. fully cyberized Ninja Man.
Yeah.
That's I buy it.
That's fine. But no, that's what I thought of when you compared it to...
That's pushing it.
Listen. Too much. So what else? Bethesda.
Sunday, June 12th at 7 p.m. or 3 a.m. for our UK listeners. That's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, jeez. So you were saying Wolfenstein, New Order?
They have sequels for a lot of stuff that they're going to be showing off.
Evil Within, they might be talking about.
Prey, and potentially, which has had like a sequel of some sort in the works for a while.
I don't remember what Prey is. I was reading about this earlier, and they were showing gameplay from the game in the video I was watching, and I didn't recognize any of it. I'm like, what is this game?
Prey was like an early 360 generation shooter where you played as a Native American guy who gets abducted by aliens and has to use his Native American spirit powers to fight the aliens.
Oh.
It's really weird. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't really good. I played the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
It was intriguing, I guess. But there have been concepts for a second Prey game for a long time now, some of which looked very interesting, but nothing's really come of it yet. But apparently it's still in the works.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to show much about Dishonored 2 as well. Because that's their bag.
Yeah, well. and last year they had that very, really nice cinematic trailer for it, but it was a cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to see some gameplay.
It'd be cool if it had an actual stealth system this time.
That would be helpful, I think.
I wonder if they'll show off Hearthstone. I'm sorry, I mean Elder Scrolls Legends.
I wonder if that's still being made.
It is. There's screenshots.
Didn't we report on it
like.
about that at some point?
Yeah. If you look at screenshots, it just looks like Hearthstone, but more boring. It's like Hearthstone with less going on visually.
It's foolish.
It's got the same exact setup and everything.
Supposedly they're doing a remaster of Skyrim. Yeah, they didn't need to do that because for two reasons. One, that game's not that old. Two, the modding community have already remastered the graphics of that game. You don't need to do it.
And three, at this point in time, just play The Witcher 3. It's better.
That's true.
It's a better open world fantasy game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people want them to make, because Doom did so well, some people want them to make like a revamp of Quake or Hexen. Either of which would be cool.
Yeah, because those are actually old enough that redoing all their graphics would make them look significantly different.
If they made Quake, that's like the quintessential arena shooter. They could try and compete with Overwatch.
Ooh, yeah. You know what else they could do? They could remake Doom. The first Doom.
Like, just remake, like, Doom 1?
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, just see what Doom 1 would look like in like the Unreal 4 engine.
Well, in the new Doom, there's old style Doom levels.
I heard about that.
With new enemies in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard mixed things about them. Some people are like, it doesn't really work because the level design isn't conducive to the new enemies. But like, it was a neat idea.
I also saw somebody did a mod for the original Doom that has all the weapons from the new Doom. And they're like pixel art versions of those weapons,
That's
so they
awesome,
look like the original Doom
cool.
graphics,
Yeah.
but they act like the weapons from the new game.
You can find some crazy mods for the original Doom.
Oh, I believe
that
it.
do all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, that would be really neat. The joke they put in here is maybe there's still some people who want a sequel to Brink. So no one ever.
Nobody.
Microsoft, Monday, June 13th, 9:30 a.m. or 5:30 p.m. in the UK. What's Microsoft talking about? That new Xbox.
We're going to talk about, what is it called, like the Scorpion or something silly like
really
that?
Should just keep it being called the Scorpion.
They do make some dumb naming choices.
The Bone Scorpion.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw.
So they're probably going to be talking about VR.
Yes.
Because...
they've been pushing that pretty hard.
And it's going to run on the Scorpion, let me tell you.
And they have their exclusives that are coming up, like Recore.
Oh, yeah, Recore.
Tacoma, the one by the Gone Home people, and Sea of Thieves, that rare pirate MMO.
Dude, Sea of Thieves looked so cool last year. Yeah. I want to see more about that.
I'm very interested to know more about that.
Like, Recore also looked cool, and I would love to see more about that.
Good first trailer, for sure.
Yeah, but Sea of Thieves, I want to play it so bad.
Tacoma, it's a walking simulator.
Maybe we'll see, this article is like, hey, maybe we'll see some more HoloLens. Maybe they won't lie about it, how it works this time.
I like how they said after last year's somewhat magical Minecraft demo on HoloLens, when since then people figured out that it wasn't actually doing anything. Like they BS'd that whole demo.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything.
Yeah. The thing is, I I'm interested in virtual reality, but I'm actually more interested in augmented reality for a couple of reasons. One, because it's probably much cheaper to produce, so you could actually like buy one. But also because I think it has way more interesting applications with either games you're already playing or other things you're doing.
Yeah.
So and because they're the only company that's pushing augmented reality stuff like the HoloLens, I'd love to see them actually like use that in some way that is interesting. This also talks about how we'll probably see more about Crackdown 3, which was announced last E3, so I believe. Maybe it was a little after that.
Something like that.
Yeah, and I would like to see more about that. And there were some Dead Rising 4 rumors. I've
heard some rumors about that too.
I stopped paying attention to Dead Rising after the first one.
Yeah, me too.
Like, it was a fun game for,
the first one
a couple
ran its
weeks.
Course it was just quirky enough and funny enough to be like this weird little unique game. And it was pretty fun. But 2, then they were like, look how crazy it is. And it went the way of like, look, we're just going to make the game wacky. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. And people were like, okay. And then 3 tried to go even further in that direction. It's too much. It's way too much. PC Gaming Show.
That's going to be Monday, June 13th at 11:30 Pacific, 7:30 UK.
So will this be as boring as it was last year?
Oh God, I hope not.
Because last year's was like 4 hours of nothing.
It was terrible.
It was awful.
I think I might have fallen asleep watching the press conference because we try and watch all the press conferences for the show.
I think me and my wife got like 45 minutes into it and just skipped through to see if anything interesting happened. Because we didn't watch it live. We like went and checked it out later, and then we were like, oh, this is not worth watching. What? There's just nothing.
Well, it's because they focus on hardware a lot, which is just like, look how pretty this hardware is.
Yeah. Look at these computers.
Teraflops.
Alienware. Do you want to pay way too much money for your computer? Yeah, you
have a big dumb logo on it, and
put those LEDs in it.
Yeah. So
make it go faster.
So Oculus is going to be at this one, so we'll see more Oculus stuff.
Yeah.
Now Oculus is actually out, so they can't be like, just wait till Oculus comes out, like they've done for the past 5 years. Now maybe they'll be like, hey, look, a game.
So what do you think? Speaking of games, what do you think about this possibility that Half-Life 3 is getting announced?
That's not happening.
Because there's all this stuff about it. Because Gabe Newell went on Twitter and made a Twitter account so he could say it's been confirmed. That's like all he said. He just said it's really cryptic. Like it's finally confirmed. And now like rumor mill is going about, and people are really actually making Half-Life 3. Because there was something else that was like teased about it, I guess. Like I
just can't believe it. Especially since we did a story, I think, a while ago about how the way like Valve's the way they make money and everything, they're actually disincentivized from making Half-Life 3.
Especially because if it's not the greatest game ever made, people are going to lose their minds.
Yeah, and then less people could potentially use Steam, which will cost Valve money.
Yes. But also, everyone's going to buy it if they do make it.
That's true.
Whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
Because I don't care who you are, you can say as much as you want, like, oh, if it's bad, I won't buy it, but you're going to buy it to find out how bad it is.
That's true.
And then they have your money.
They have it.
Unless you do your Steam refund within 2 hours.
Oh, that's true.
But whatever.
It takes more than 2 hours to fully appreciate Half-Life.
It does, because you have to get the whole story and everything.
Yeah.
And they usually start kind of slow. Sony, June 13th, Monday as well, at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 2 a.m. in the UK. It was rumored until recently that they were going to be showing their new console, the like PlayStation 4K, the Neo.
The Neo. Only slightly better than the Scorpion.
However, it has been confirmed by Sony that they are not.
Although, in the news this weekend, I don't know if you had it as another article, but Sony did confirm that they are making the Neo and the specs and everything.
Yes, yeah,
that
they confirmed that it is happening,
yeah.
And this is what it's going to do, but we're not going to show it at E3.
Yeah.
So that's too bad, I guess. I'm assuming we'll see a lot more of Last Guardian and the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh yeah, I can see a lot of that Final Fantasy VII remake. That's what the fans want. Give them what they want.
There's a new trailer out for Horizon Zero Dawn. that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
And the game's been confirmed to be releasing in early 2017. So they're probably going to show us more about that, like some more polished
That would be
gameplay
good. I
and
mean,
everything.
the thing about that is, like, they showed us the gameplay last time.
Yeah.
So I'm not really craving to see more about that game. I'm just like, oh, I will pay attention to when that game comes out.
That's where I'm at with it right now, too, because it's interesting enough that I'm like, oh, that might be fun. But I'm not, like, waiting with bated breath. Some people think they're going to show Shenmue 3 in some form because the Kickstarter was successful. But
because that was like the big part of their show. I think they will.
Yeah,
I think they definitely will.
Update. And there's speculation in this article that maybe Hideo Kojima will show up and show off the new PS4 exclusive he's making.
Just rolling like a rock star, be like, "Oh man, look at my logo, look at my spaceman,
look at my drive jacket."
Yeah, I hope that he comes out and then there's like somebody wearing the spaceman suit who comes out after him. What was that character's name? Ludens.
Brave Explorer of New Worlds.
Yes. And then and he comes into like rap music, wearing his drive jacket,
straight out of Compton.
Yeah, and then he's just like boom, and then on the back screen it's just like the title of his upcoming game and like a screenshot, and he's like peace out, and then he leaves.
And when he comes out, it's like a wrestler intro, and he bursts out of a cardboard Metal Gear Solid 3 pachinko machine.
Oh yeah, man, that would be awesome.
That would be great. Oh, and there's a guy dressed as a Konami executive, and he just, drop kicks him. Yeah!
So good! But in all seriousness, I would love to see him announce his stuff.
Yeah. I'm really curious what he's working on. There's some rumors of a new God of War game, but...
that series has run its course. It is done.
Weren't we talking about how there were rumors that they were making one that was based
Nordic
on
one.
mythology?
Yeah. Something we didn't want.
Yeah, we don't care. The rest, might be some stuff about the new South Park game, The Fractured Butthole.
Yes.
Great title, if nothing else. Some more VR stuff, I'm sure. There's no new Assassin's Creed game this year, though.
Thank God.
So we won't see Assassin's Creed.
Oh my God.
And Nintendo's obviously talking a ton about Legend of Zelda. There have been crazy rumors coming out about, leaked information that they're going to be revealing about that Zelda game, some of which is nuts.
So we talked a little bit about this last week, about how for the longest time Nintendo was like, we're just going to talk about Zelda around E3 time and nothing else, and then last week they were like, nah, we lied, we're going to talk about other stuff too.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? We do know that the new Zelda game is open world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not... I mean, the other games are technically open world, I guess, but this one is much more of, a sandbox without, walls dividing things.
Yeah.
And areas, which is interesting. And the idea for that, they have already said, was that you can tackle dungeons and things in any order you choose, which is very much like the very first Zelda game, which allowed you to kind of just wander and go wherever you wanted.
Yeah.
And figure it out from there.
That's cool.
Some people are speculating the bow and arrow is going to play a much larger part in this game than the sword.
It's certainly been more heavily featured in all of the artwork.
Right. So some people are thinking maybe they're going to go crazy and not even include a master sword or something.
Oh, come on now.
There's going to be a master bow.
Gotta have a big Goron in there.
The most interesting rumor I've heard is that there's going to be time mechanics, which they've done before.
Mm-hmm.
But what they're doing in this case is, the rumor says, there's 4 huge dungeons and tons of, small mini dungeons all over the place.
Yeah.
And there's a time mechanic that's going to be somehow involved with the 4 dungeons. And people are wondering, because Link looks very young in all the stuff we've seen. So some people are wondering, is Link going to start off very young, and every time you clear one of these major dungeons, there's, a time skip.
That would be interesting.
And Link gets older.
Sure.
And then, when you beat the game, Link is maybe, an older Link than we've ever seen in any of the other titles.
That would only be weird to me because... it suggests the kind of narrative that you don't usually see in Legend of Zelda games, or Nintendo games at all, really.
But if any of these leaks are true, it seems like they're trying to mix this one up a lot. So
they're certainly taking their sweet time with it.
Yeah, I hope they really show us something different here, because they need to with Zelda.
They do.
At this point, it has gotten way too samey.
And supposedly they're also not going to talk about the NX, which we think is a dumb idea.
Because they've already said Zelda's a launch title for it.
So it's going to be really awkward the way they talk about Zelda if they don't mention the NX. All they have to do is, tease the NX. They don't even have to, talk about its specs or anything.
The NX version of Zelda is a port of the Wii U version of the game.
Uh-huh.
But still, you'd think they'd want to talk up the NX, what the NX is going to bring to the game now, when we learn about the game.
Now, in the past, I would say no. Nintendo's going to at least mention the NX, maybe at the end of their stream or something.
Yeah.
But now Nintendo's under new leadership than it was last year.
Yes.
So maybe they will be stupid enough to. He does look scary. Maybe he will be dumb enough to not mention the NX. But I'm really hoping that they're trying to throw people off the scent, and they are going to mention it. They're just going to only mention it very briefly. Yeah. So that is my hesitant prediction for their E3 adjacent direct.
Also at E3, there is going to be a celebration for the first time of the year's greatest video game art.
Oh,
so
that's
concept
cool.
artwork and art teams are going to get their own little show, essentially, and be hey, look at all the great artists who worked on some of the biggest games this year. Which I think is really neat.
They have don't they have a section at the Game Awards for that, or I can't remember if they did or not.
They have a best art direction, art design thing, because I remember Bloodborne was nominated for it.
Yeah.
And might have won it actually. I can't remember.
It deserved to.
It did deserve to. The game was great. But this is going to have awards as well. A bunch of studio heads and stuff are going to be judging it and things, and they have some examples. This is an article on Polygon from June 7th. I'm getting this from, but they have examples of some of the people who are going to be featured. You got people doing stuff for Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Song of the Deep.
Oh yeah, that was really interesting.
Recore is getting those because that's some really nice concept artwork. No Man's Sky.
Of course, sure.
The League of Legends art team, which I'm not very familiar with, but this thing they got right here is really cool looking.
That concept art looks nothing like League of Legends.
No, it looks way better.
Yeah.
This guy who did the art for this little horror game that came out called Layers of Fear.
Ooh, I haven't heard of that.
It looks really cool.
The art looks really interesting.
I've watched the beginning of the game. It's very interesting.
It looks like wood cut stuff.
Yeah, like a woodblock thing.
Yeah.
Or is it supposed to emulate that?
Mm-hmm.
Got Guild Wars 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far Cry Primal. That concept art looks great.
Edge of Nowhere.
Dreadnought.
Dishonored 2. Dishonored has very nice concept art.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Actually. I like it a lot more than the game. So that's neat. It's nice to see them doing this whole separate thing for all these artists.
Where's Hyperlight Drifter? Hyperlight Drifter's not.
They're going to have a thing for pixel art.
Oh, good.
They said in the
very
article.
Cool.
Yeah, so that it better be there.
It better be.
Hyperlight Drifter's freaking amazing looking.
The whole point, I would say 50% of that game is just how visually interesting it is.
Yeah, just look at all the pixels and listen to the cool ambient music, and look, there's half your video game, like you said. And
then the other half is just Dark Souls.
Yep. Just dash around, don't get hit.
Get good.
Hit them, don't get hit.
Yep.
Speaking of awards, the Game Awards 2016 is happening on December 1st.
Yeah.
As has been announced. Jeff Keighley's show is also coming to virtual reality.
Oh.
You're going to be able to watch the show in VR.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
You can look around at all the people sitting next to you.
That's so weird.
That is... I don't know how I feel about it.
So, it's neat to know that this is happening. But an email to Polygon, Keighley told them that the show's organizers are still working on their plans for the show. But it is happening.
I hope that the VR is like a seat in the audience, but it's like a really bad seat way in the back.
It's like half behind a post.
Yeah, so when you're like up in the nosebleeds when you're doing it with VR, so you're like, I'd rather just watch this stream. This sucks.
Is awful. So from here on out, we mostly have just game announcements. Starting with some kind of weird stories, but then a lot of it's just like, this game's coming out, this game's coming out, this game got announced.
Oh yeah, do you want to... I don't know, whatever order you want to do it, I guess, it doesn't matter.
I want to touch on this one really quick, because Doom came out, the new Doom game, everybody really likes it. Everyone has also said the multiplayer is very lackluster.
And that has
not been a hit.
Ever since the beta, people were not super into it.
But apparently, id Software has taken Certain Affinity, which is the developer that they had doing the multiplayer, off of that project. Said, you guys aren't doing this anymore. And now id themselves are going to make the multiplayer.
See, this surprised me because it and totally makes sense now that I've heard it, because I assumed it was doing both.
Me too.
But now I'm like, oh, that's why everyone thought the multiplayer was but the actual gameplay, was like totally different. So I was like, yeah, you should have been doing it the whole time.
It is remaking the whole thing. They're working on private matches with custom game settings and a bunch of other stuff that they plan to include in a free update this summer.
Sweet.
So that's great. That's fantastic.
I love being able to do all sorts of custom game settings in multiplayer shooters.
Yeah, Overwatch has actually pretty robust options for multiplayer settings. I was surprised I looked at it. But you can only play custom matches with your friends or against AI. You can't like set up a custom match and populate it with people.
That game has bots in it.
It does.
Oh, I didn't know that. That makes it a lot more interesting to me.
Not in like standard multiplayer matches.
Yeah,
though. Like it won't fill your team with bots.
That's fair. Sure.
Yeah. But you can make custom games with bots if you want to like practice or something, which is neat. I think you even get experience points for it.
Oh,
towards like leveling up and junk.
Very nice.
Yeah, the bots are obviously like not good.
They're not as smart as a human player.
But,
sure, but if you really suck, then they could be a great alternative.
It's a great confidence booster.
So we got a real interesting little story from Eurogamer.
This is super weird.
It's super weird. Which is from June 6th, earlier this week. So do you remember Star Wars Battlefront 3?
Yes.
Not Star Wars Battlefront, period. The game that came out this past October or November.
Yeah, November. I do.
You do.
I remember those weird leaked videos of people flying from the surface into space in an X-Wing.
And it looked great, and everyone was like, why did this game get canceled?
Because reasons.
I mean, it was a lot of dumb legal reasons about how companies were shifting around.
It was really stupid.
But, so it was dumb. And I think at some point in the last year or so, we saw more leaked footage of gameplay of it with, like, not completely built stuff of the game.
Right.
Like lots of wireframes and things. And I think included in that story, there was something about how a bunch of the files were leaked. Oh, it was because they closed LucasArts? And one of the old employees was just like, whatever, I'm just going to put all the files
junk on my hard drive.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it out on the internet. In response to that, a group of Russian software developers.
God bless them.
Yeah, they grabbed all those files and they were like, dude, we're gonna make Battlefront 3. We're just gonna make it, because like the game's almost done.
So what's hilarious about this is that so Disney tried to stop this from happening because they own Star Wars, and we're like, no, you can't do this without our approval. But then Valve stepped up and was like, we'll let you put it out on Steam. That's fine. Like, and I don't think anything else has come of it yet.
No, I don't. Are you sure that Disney like made an official comment on it? Does it say it in the article?
I don't think they have, I guess, but they could.
Oh, they certainly could, and I think they will.
If they won't, if they don't, yeah.
Because these guys are like,
it's more that Valve has said, like, we're going to back this and put it on Steam.
Yeah. These guys who are Frontwire Studios.
Yeah.
They're real ballsy. Because you can watch a 2-minute teaser trailer, and it's all of the sounds from the game, but also John Williams' score is in it. And obviously it's all the same like character models and everything. It's all
copyrighted material.
So it's all copyrighted material. So
and when you're talking about Star Wars copyrights, it's copyrighted.
Yeah, dude, that's a big cash cow for Disney. They're not going to let you do that. But that's what the crazy thing is, that Disney didn't step in and stop them already, and then they went to Valve and were like, Valve, will you release this on Steam for free, by the way? They're not charging for it. Or they don't want to charge for it.
Yeah.
And Valve was like, oh, you want to put it up on Steam for free, but you can download it? We'll do that. Why not? So Disney's got to step. I'm shocked they haven't stepped in yet. And the game's going to be called Star Wars Galaxy in Turmoil. And again, like, it's going to be free, and it brings up the thing that I have said many times when we see all of these game remakes by fans. There was a Mario remake I remember we reported on. There was the Metal Gear Solid remake. that we reported on where people were remaking it in like the Unreal 4 engine.
Yeah.
Which I also believe that they have put all of this Battlefront 3 stuff into the Unreal 4 engine. I read something about that somewhere. And all the time these projects get shut down, and every time they do, I'm just like, wait, they didn't want to charge for this project.
Yeah.
So why didn't they just not say anything about it until it was done, and then just put it out there and be like, oh, it's out there?
Like, I'm wondering how much, if at all, Valve getting behind this will protect them.
You can't
really.
Like, I know Valve is a big company, they make a lot of money, but that's nothing compared to Disney.
No.
So there's no way they have they can actually protect them.
No.
But again, like with this studio, like if you're not soliciting donations for this and you don't want to charge for the game, why did you just not say anything until the game was done? Yeah. And then everyone would have been so pleasantly surprised, and then Disney would have been mad about it, but it would have been too late.
Oh, well.
Those Russians. Maybe because they're not in America, they think they can get away with it.
Maybe. You can get away with anything in Russia.
It's almost as much as you can get away with in China. All those illegal movies.
Oh, so many. So guess what else got announced? I mean, there were rumors about this all over the place before it actually got officially announced.
Oh, yeah.
It got leaked by accident.
By accident.
I'm of the opinion that Ubisoft leaked this on purpose, so they could be like, oh, look, someone hacked our files. So now you know that Watchdogs 2 is coming out.
The other game that nobody wanted.
I just closed a story, because we're running out of time, about another game that nobody wanted. Halo Wars 2.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they were going to be talking about that at E3.
Yep. So many games no one wants. So Watchdogs sold like crazy. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised, really, that they're making a sequel, but man, whatever. So this was announced on June 8th, and it's there's a trailer you can watch. It's set in San Francisco. The world is bigger and more open. You can go outside of the city. You can go to Compton. You can go to Silicon Valley. Yep. And it's about a troubled teen. Yep. Named Marcus Holloway, who looks so hip. He's so trendy. He has a little duffel bag with pins on it. Oh my god! Just like you. Not like you, Lex, but like you. Yeah. The listener. And then he's got the bandana over his mouth, and he's part of a hacking group called DeadSec. Which I assume means Dead Sector, but when I first read it, I was like, Dead Second. I don't understand that. And he's got his smartphone, and it's very topical in the trailer. You can see such trendy items as a selfie stick and a personal drone. It is very much in tune with our modern technological society. Honestly, we have built this game from the ground up by committee to make it appeal to the widest demographic possible. Isn't this just like your life? Yeah. When I saw the trailer for the first Watchdogs, I thought this concept is cool. Until they pulled the gun out. Yeah. And all the hacking stuff looked really interesting, and then of course the farther in we got. And then the game actually came out and it didn't look as good as it was supposed to, and all those problems. Yeah. But at least in terms of the concept and the presentation initially was this is an interesting look at hacking stuff. Whereas this is just the most annoying, hipster BS I've ever seen. They pumped up the volume to 11 with that stuff in this one. You could just tell from the trailer. And it's still gonna have tons of guns and shooting and stuff, 3D printed guns. Get even more trendy. So contemporary. Whoa! This is asinine. This is the game... I hate this game on principle. This is the game that if someone plays this game in 10 years, they're gonna be like, what? What's going on? Blu-ray discs. My god, it's dumb. But the only good thing that came out of it. If you want to watch the trailer for this, I advise you don't. But instead, watch the special edit that is the Full House variant trailer. Yes, it's delightful. They put the Full House intro music behind it. And added credits. And added the credits of the Full House font. Oh my gosh. It's super great. Makes it 100% more watchable. Yes. We're running out of time. There's a trailer for Injustice 2. The trailer's super goofy. It's so goofy. There's power armor. Yeah, it's all these guys. It's all superheroes, and they're beating each other up one at a time, and then putting on more clothes. So they can do it again.
So, yeah.
And I guess they unveiled, like, Supergirl. Was she in the first game? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure it'll play well. I mean, the first one played pretty well.
I mean, if they take what they did with Metal Gear or Mortal Kombat X, and like soup it up the same way, it'll be a good game. Final Fantasy XII is getting an HD remake, which is very interesting because that's actually a very pretty PS2 game.
It's such a pretty PS2 game.
It's gorgeous looking for that system.
Will it come out for PC in this HD remake? Do we know? Definitely for PS4.
PlayStation 4, I don't know about.
Actually, PC. We know
because there has not been any FF12 version on the PC yet,
and we know that they've been porting a lot of Final Fantasy games to PC recently.
So maybe this is the time.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be great. That game on PC would be excellent.
I would love to replay that with an HD version on my PC. Yeah. It'd be fantastic.
Persona 5 got an official release date.
Yeah!
It's not coming out in the United States, the rest of the world this year. It's coming out in February 2017 on Valentine's Day, and I'm mad. This isn't okay.
That is quite a wait.
Because this game's going to get spoiled to hell and back before it comes out.
Because that's such a huge gap of time.
5-month gap.
Ooh.
Everything about this game, because of how popular this series is now, is going to be on the internet within a week.
That's too bad.
I'm really upset about this news. It's going to be super hard to avoid spoilers.
I'm sorry, Dan.
I know. I mean, I'm not the only one who's mad. I think a lot of people are mad because they have to wait. But I don't care about the waiting. I just don't want to get spoiled. I want to be able to enjoy the whole story.
You know what else should be up for the art award?
Persona? Like Persona 5 specifically, because it has the slickest UI I've ever seen in a video game.
And just a lot of the concept art
color composition.
Yeah, really interesting.
Super good and different.
I would love to see that up there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the designs of like the demons and stuff too, they look freaking great. Like they're really cool. But also, on June 15th at 9 p.m., Atlas is doing a Persona 5 live stream on Japanese website Nico Nico. Which is like a sort of a YouTube streaming site. It's like Twitch YouTube for Japan. So if you want to get little bits and pieces about the game, you can try and go check that out. You probably can watch it even outside of Japan. You may have to make a Nico account, but you can find guides online on how to do that, even if you don't know any Japanese. Ukulele is also coming out next year, first quarter 2017. I'm excited about that. Get some more Banjo-Kazooie in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn, as we already mentioned earlier, has been delayed to February 2017. It was supposed to come out at the end of this year. But now it's coming out then. And we got just the time. We have no real time, but that's good because no games are really coming out in the next week. Kirby Planet Robobot came out today. And Odin Sphere, and the Odin Sphere remake, and the new Guilty Gear, and Mirror's Edge Catalyst came out on the 7th. And that's about all that's worth mentioning. So yeah, thank you all for listening. That's it for our news this week. Next week we'll be coming to you with all the hot news from E3. So I'm sure we will have a really hard time cramming that all into one podcast. Although last year, didn't we break it up into two?
We did.
We talked about games, and then we talked about industry stuff separately, I believe. We'll probably do the same thing this year, unless there's very little of one or the other.
So we've got a big announcement to make. We
do. We'll eat up a couple more minutes of your time.
Well, it's pretty quick, but so as we've said for the past, a month or 2 months?
We're working on a
Patreon. That is finally finished. Yes. I actually have it up right now.
Oh my god! Did you launch it right now?
I can launch it right now. So, a word about it. I mean, definitely, you can check out that page, and we have a little video up.
And we'll link to it from, our other stuff.
Yeah, where we talk about the different things we're doing, but basically we want to expand this whole thing that we do in some major ways.
Yeah.
It's a bigger time commitment, so we...
are looking for some sort of compensation.
Yeah,
basically.
Considering all the extra hours that we would be putting in making more content. And we've got such cool ideas for content, such as a Twitch channel, YouTube videos about specific stories.
Watch us play games instead of just talk about them.
Yeah.
I'll Twitch stream Overwatch.
Yeah, I mean, you will. Just like everybody else is.
Just like everybody else.
You'll probably get some viewers.
I'll get noticed. I won't get noticed.
You won't get noticed. You gotta be doing Dota 2 to get noticed.
Twitch, you won't get noticed playing Dota 2 on Twitch. We'll play some weird games nobody cares about.
Dude, we gotta play Pistol Daimyo on Twitch.
Yeah!
That is my dream. If we get that Twitch channel,
that should be
we're
the
doing
first thing.
Pistol
That should be
Daimyo.
the inaugural
Yes.
stream. Look forward to Pistol Daimyo. Give us money.
I also want to do stuff like Tabletop RPG show.
Yeah.
Might be fun if we get enough money for that.
Yeah. And we're going to do like extra podcast content where we maybe talk about some stuff other than video.
Yeah, you can. There are different levels at which you can donate at, and if you're donating at higher levels, we're going to be doing extra podcast content where we talk about movies and TV shows and comic books, and you'll have access to that stuff. So, all sorts of cool things. Please check us out on the Patreon that's going to launch in 3, 2, 1. I pressed the button.
I was going to say I was going to say that. Because it doesn't play well for audio.
No.
It doesn't make a big, like, Patreon activated sound or something. It's active.
It's active. We're
right
gonna post the link on Facebook.
So,
check it out.
I have been Dan.
I have been Lex.
And we have been Don't Copy That Floppy, your weekly video game news show. We will be back next Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. live here on Chip It Radio.
Talking about all that E3.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you can check out show logs that we have on YouTube, on iTunes, and on the chipit.net site.
Chipit.net. Check it out. There's going to be more shows on there soon, too.
And also follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
And like us on Facebook. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
And check us out on Patreon.
And leave an iTunes review if you want. Do any one of these things.
Or all of them.
Or all of them. Whatever you strikes your fancy. But anyway, until next time, just remember...
Don't copy that floppy.